What's up guys, Braden here with SuperATV, and today we're going to be showing you how to install SuperATV's rear flip windshield on this Polaris Xpedition ADV. So let's get right to it. So we're going to take our bulb seal and install the bulb portion of the seal facing towards the inside. We're going to line it up right in between these two lower holes here that don't have any hardware in them. So just find the good center point there. We're going to install it. So as you can see, I'm using an air hammer today. It's perfectly acceptable to use something like this. If you don't have one of these, you can use a dead blow or you can install it by hand. It does make it a little bit easier though when you hit it. Obviously when you're doing that, you want to make sure that you're not damaging the seal or the windshield. Both are very tough, it'd be hard to damage them, but just got to be careful. So once we get to this point here, we're going to seam the bulb seal back up, so we're going to have to cut it off flush to where it lines up correctly. You can use a pair of side cuts or something to cut with. Whenever we're making a precise cut, I do like to use a razor blade. Line it up there, go ahead and cut. Once you get a cut going, just wrap your blade around as straight as you can. You may have to fold it down. You're going to see we have those interlock pieces of metal in there. That's what keeps the bulb seal tight. Usually I just kind of cut around it a little bit, and once it gets to the point where it needs to seam up, just push it in there together like so. That way they seam together. Now we're going to grab our handle and our two long Allens out of the kit, as well as our two nylock nuts. Just take the hardware, slide them down into the handle like this. Line it up with the two holes on the windshield. This is the lower portion and this is the outer portion of the windshield, so you should see a nice clear shiny border that's going to indicate that this is the outer. So then we'll go down here to the inside and just start the nut on the bottom. We'll start both of them there. Once we have them both started, we can go ahead and fully tighten them. It'll be a 5mm Allen and a 10mm wrench. So now we're going to install our hinges to our windshield. So again, we're on the outer portion. This will be facing towards the outside of the machine. You're going to have a right and a left. The easiest way to know which one's which, you're going to see this bend. This bend is going to lay over top of your seal like this, and you always want the opening to face towards the outside of the windshield. So then when you connect the other portion of your hinge, it should look just like so. So this is going to be our right side here. What we're going to do is grab our M6 hardware, the non-flanged head. So this would just be the button head. There is a flanged head set in there. Do not use those for now. We'll just drop our hardware through our bracket and then through our windshield. We'll go around to the bottom side with our nylock nut. Get that ran up, then we'll just grab our other screw into the opposite side of the hole. And get that started as well. We're just going to repeat the same step for the opposite side. Now we're just going to go ahead and tighten these up. You want to make sure you tighten them to where they're as straight as possible. Now we're gonna install our windshield. Just lay it up here like so. Just going to position it to where your brackets slide up underneath the roof. So whenever you get your windshield laid up here, you want to make sure that your brackets are installed like this to where the notches are facing down. Then you can just kind of tuck it up into place, and then it's going to line up with the factory threaded screw holes on the cage. Now this is something you can do by yourself. Obviously it is easier if you have somebody to kind of help you. I'm going to grab the hardware now, show you guys what that is, and just go ahead and get the hardware started. Now we don't want to tighten anything quite yet, we just want to run it up just to make it easy for any kind of adjustments we may need to make. You don't have to loosen your roof hardware, but just pick up on it a little bit. So now what you're gonna do is just make sure that it's equal side to side. So you can kind of wiggle it around, check your gaps, make sure it's the same. If you're having trouble getting it aligned by just having these screws loose, you may have to loosen the screws in your hinge bracket to get it to square up correctly. Once you have it lined up how you like it, you can go ahead and secure these bolts down. So just go ahead and tighten those down completely, these two as well as these two. So now what we're gonna do is lift up our windshield and take the provided nuts in the kit. Just go ahead and run them up like that. Then we're gonna grab our bracket and our threaded clip here. We're gonna line it up with the channel in the frame. And as you go to tighten that, it is going to lock into the cage. So what we're gonna do is get our windshield sitting about flat. It's about flat. We'll just kind of go ahead and hold up on it again. We're just gonna use this to help us hold the windshield in place while we install the other strut. Grab a 10mm socket. Grab that and snug it up pretty tight there. Now we're just going to repeat the same steps over here. And then on this side, what we're going to do is something just a slightly bit different. We're going to take this bracket this time, go ahead and get the hardware threaded into the clip. Just started, and then we are going to attach our strut to it. The reason we do this is because now I can put an impact and a wrench on this and tighten it up a lot faster than double wrenching it like we're going to have to on that opposite side. So now we're going to go ahead and fully tighten our strut nuts, the one to the windshield bracket and then the one to the lower strut mount bracket here. And then we're going to get our windshield aligned where it needs to be. And then just go ahead and fully tighten the hardware. The top and bottom. And you can still manipulate this around, rotate it wherever it needs to be. There's no issue with that being tightened. Going to do that for this opposite side as well. So now what we're doing here is just going to go ahead and remove this again. So that way we can fully tighten that up with our impact, just to make it a little bit easier and a little bit faster on us. We went ahead and secured the opposite side. And we have the windshield laying pretty much where we need it to be. Once we have our adjustments made, we're going to check and make sure that everything latches how it's supposed to. Looks like it lines up good and latches correctly. Just twist that knob, it latches in good. Both sides latch up nicely. So now, as you can see, we have our windshield installed. If at any point, or at this point, if you have any hardware that isn't fully tightened quite yet, go ahead and go back through and fully tighten it. But as you can see, you unlock it, opens right up. You can drop your tailgate, you can close it, you can latch it for a nice secure ride. So that's all there is to it to install SuperATV's flip rear windshield on this Polaris Xpedition ADV. Be sure to check the description below to pick one up today. And while you're there, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.